I would love to hear more about how you started. What was your situation like before? What wasn't really working in your love life?
Really, it was basically me just having to take charge and do everything. I felt like in my relationship with my son's father, it was like I did a lot. And I realize now, like, I did way too much. Like, I did way too much. I was trying too hard, just thinking that this is what love is, not realizing that none of that was love. Like, I was just putting too much pressure on myself and him because really, if he didn't want to do all that stuff, like, I was putting myself out there. Like, I'll overextend myself big time just to make sure he was happy and he was good, and I was just depleted and miserable. And he was fine with just taking. Like, he was fine with everything, and he just moved on and was doing all types of other things. And I couldn't like understand like why do I feel like that? Like, why now am I feeling like I wasn't good enough, or like I wasn't worthy of any type of love because this one person didn't show me the love that I showed him. I just didn't understand, like, and it took me such a long time to really start to grasp the fact that, I mean, you're doing too much right now. It's like you said, I was really in my masculine right now. I was like truly in my masculine, like, okay, well, since you're not here, I have to do all this, and I'm cutting off relationships, period, because that's not what's going to benefit me right now. That's a distraction because I lost myself completely in somebody else.
Yeah.
And so over this year, regardless if like I came on the call or I was just listening to the call, it was like I started noticing like bits of myself come back. Like,
Mhm.
okay, Dominique, I can take my power back in this area. Like, I don't have to call, I don't have to beg, I don't have to do these things because there's somebody who will do that for me. Like, they will just willingly call me or text me, and then it could be an equal exchange versus me all the time trying to initiate things, me trying to make things happen, me doing. No, I don't have to do all that.
You
I don't
don't.
have to do all
Yeah, and it
that.
sounds like you realized that in doing all those things too, that was the thing that was keeping you away from what you really wanted anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what I did, I was like, this is what I have to do. I really convinced myself, like, I have to do it this way because I don't want to be like this person and I don't want to be like this person. But in the end, like, I was like, who am I becoming? I'm
Mhm.
not becoming them. I'm trying to be the greatest version of me.
Yeah.
So it's like this program helped me like truly see myself for who I was in that moment and also who I have the capability of being. And when I went down to Florida, it was just I just felt so free. Like, I was like, this is a totally different like energy. Before I went, I started, I don't know why, and I felt like maybe it was anxiety, but I started having asthma attacks. Like, I started just like I would have them like every day, an asthma attack, and my chest would get very tight, and I really couldn't understand like why am I feeling like this? Like, what's going on? And then when I went down there, it was like I felt nothing. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't feel any of that. I just felt free.
And what do
And
you
I'm
think that
like,
was?
it was just the energy here. I've let it build up so much without saying things because I don't want to hurt this person, or I don't know the right ways of saying certain stuff without like going overboard because I held it in so much. I felt like I couldn't truly express myself in a way that someone would actually take in what I said in a constructive way and not in a defensive way or something that would cause like a bigger issue. I
Gotcha. Gotcha.
honestly became like silent, and I thought that silence was like horrible. Like, it meant that I was weak. But in actuality, it's stress because I don't have to address these things. Like, I don't have to. Like, I honestly can address it within myself, but I don't feel the need to talk to you about it. Like, I
Mm,
don't feel the need to go on and on about a situation. Like, if that's how you feel.
that's how you feel. So let me ask you, Dominique, because this is great. Like, what made you decide to join the program specifically?
When I started, I was going on YouTube because, like, at that time, I seriously felt like I lost myself. I felt like, oh, I'm not that attractive anymore. I don't smile. I don't laugh like I used to laugh, like all the time. Like I was just very jokey, period. But I was like, I don't do any of that stuff anymore. Like I'm not happy,
Mhm.
and my kids are looking at me, and I don't want them to look at me like, what's wrong with her? Or they always feel like they have to take care of me because they're both so nurturing by nature. And I was like, I don't want them to feel like they have to take care of me. Like, I truly want to be stronger within myself. And I want my daughter to see, like, not necessarily who I used to be, because I felt like when I was in college, I was like the strongest person ever. But mostly just to see, like, the person that I'm truly becoming. And to know that, hey, you can go through different pitfalls, and obstacles in life, but you can still keep your head up and grow from any like situation that's coming in your way.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like listening to the calls because sometimes I felt like I was very emotional. If I heard, if I heard certain stuff, I felt triggered by the conversations. That's why I stopped getting on from time to time because I felt like I didn't want to say anything, and it was better for me to listen to it and then deal with my emotions. And then after I talked to you about it, it was like, okay, I want to try to do more. And I don't want to keep having these negative narratives in my head.
So what I'm
So,
hearing is that your self-image has shifted.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, what yeah, this is good. I mean, I just love what you're sharing because I can experience and I know the shift that has occurred and been occurring too. And I'm curious about something like how have your children responded to you differently, if at all? Would you say that there's been a shift within them and how they respond to you or even within themselves, especially, your daughter or son?
I felt like with them, they wanted to start to really bring more attention towards them. And that made me see like they was doing extra things like look at me or mommy this and mommy that, and I'm like, why you keep doing that? Like, I'm here. And then I realized I wasn't here. Like, my body was just here, but my mind was everywhere else. And so once they saw that I started like actually listening more to what was going on with them, they started talking more and telling me stuff, and then I would feel bad all over again. Like, oh my goodness, like all this stuff is happening, and I'm right here, and I'm doing all this stuff by myself. And then I was like, snap out of it. Okay,
Mhm.
you're doing what you can right now. You're
Yeah.
in a better position than where you were before. And yes, you made those decisions, but guess what? Those decisions led you to be a much stronger person right now. So
Yeah.
if they notice it, and now it's like my daughter still is like, well, mommy, when we go down to Florida, your husband is gonna be there, and then y'all are gonna go on all these trips. And I was like, okay. And I was like, she's just talking, but she just keeps saying it like over and over again. I'm like, okay, I hear you, I hear you.
So let me
Please
ask you,
remind
Dominique,
me
because
to
I'm
visit.
hearing like your kids, like before you weren't present. Although you were there physically, it was really difficult for you to be present. I mean, and what does it mean for you now that your children are opening up to you more? They're
It
talking and
feels
revealing them
so
because they.
good because before I honestly started feeling bad, like I was a horrible mother, like really a bad mother for not really doing everything that I could. And now it's like they appreciate where I am and what I'm doing. And like we went on a cruise and they just kept saying, oh my goodness, mom, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you so much. And it just made me feel so much better knowing that, okay, I made these mistakes before, but it's not defining who I am to them. Like, they can forgive me and see me for where I am now. So why can't I forgive myself?
Yeah.
Like, why?
That's major. To have your kids appreciate you, Dominique, girl. You know, listen, that is major. I can just imagine a lot of parents wanting to be like, I wish my kids would show some appreciation.
Yes,
So good. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. I mean,
it
so
feels so much better.
so let's talk about like what. Okay, so what were some of the obstacles that you had to overcome, if any? Before joining, like was there any resistance? What was it, and if so, how did you overcome it?
Well, the first one was like the money. I felt like, okay, I got this. Like, I can do this. And then it was like, I just got hit with everything. And I felt like at first, like, that was just one of my tests and really having faith in myself and really believe that I can make things happen because I knew I needed this. In my head, I felt like I needed this just so that I could start to just recognize myself again. But then I felt like, oh no, now I gotta worry about money. When in actuality I was good the whole time. I just overthinking and worrying about things that I had no business even worrying about.
Yeah,
So it was like after I got over the money stuff, then it was like, okay, I'm so used to trying to be open with other people, and then they would throw it back in my face. And so I felt like, okay, I'm closed off now. So now I'm trying to really open myself back up to a group of women who they're literally going through the same thing I'm going through. Or it's like I see the strip in like how they're moving. I'm like, oh man, like I wish I could say that.
hmm
Like, why can't you say that? Like, why can't you do that? And I'm like, I just don't do that. I don't do that. And just to hear it and to see it, it was like breathtaking and beautiful to me.
yeah,
At the same time, it was like, it just took me a minute to really be like, okay, you can do this too. Like, you can share. And every time I felt like I shared something, I felt like it was like a weight off my shoulder. But then I was like, oh, I said too much. Like, I did too much. And so I would pull back again and then try to analyze why am I doing that once again. I can't fall back into these same patterns. And every time I get triggered, I do this or I do that. Like, no, you can do this. You're strong enough. You can
yeah.
actually face what it is, address it, and let it go.
It's
And
interesting that you mentioned that. Like, I have a new mentor now too, and it's that thing is called the vulnerability hangover. It's like, why did I say that? That's TMI. Why did I say that? Oh shoot, I can't believe I just said that. Why did I say that? But then
right.
you pull yourself back in, and you're like, you know what? This is a community because you did share openly. I mean, how do you feel about? What would you say about the community piece and to be with other women who are, investing in themselves, who are sharing openly? I mean, what would you say about that? How has that been for you?
I felt like at first just listening was good enough. Just listening and hearing other people's stories and then knowing that I am not alone. Or she feels this way like I wish there was something I could do so she wouldn't feel that way when I see somebody totally different.
Let's talk about the results because we were just talking that you've met some men, you got a guy in your life now, you're in a relationship. Like,
He was like, "You're so small," and I was like, "Okay." And like, what are you trying to say? I'm not small. Like, I don't talk to me. I'm 6'3", 6'4" with these shoes on right now. Like, there's nothing small about me. He was like, "No, you're like petite." I never like no one ever called me petite before. They
mhm,
was just like, "You're skinny," and all this, and so he was like, "No, you're petite." He was like, "But you're beautiful." He was like, "I just noticed your smile," and you started laughing, and I don't know what I was laughing at, but he said he just saw me laughing, and he was like, "Your energy was like." I had to come talk to you. And he was like, he saw me walking away somewhere, so he grabbed my arm and he was like, I love you. But I don't remember any of that. I don't know. I was just so used to just moving because, at those types of events, some of them are very, drunk. And so they just grab you anyway. And so
Mhm.
I was just used to like, just move it through. Okay, that's nice. And he was like, I didn't say anything. He said, oh man, I'm not going to talk to her anymore. Like, I'm not going to talk to her. And then he said he saw me again, and I was just laughing and talking to one of my LSs. And he's like, I had to send my Neo over there to talk to you. And I was like, I started blushing. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm not used to things like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not used to that.
I mean, tell me more about like what's happened since. Let's celebrate some of your victories. Like, what has happened specifically since joining the program? What are you doing now? What's happened for you now since joining?
So I've been basically I work at home. So I don't really get dressed or anything like that usually, but then I started like trying to make an effort. And so when I go out, like I try to like do something to my hair, or even if it's like, oh, it's wild like this right now, I try to like do something where it looks nicer when I go out, and then like I'll get dressed and I'll start smiling, being more open, where before I'll like shut down real quick. Like, you don't really want to talk to me. Like, you want to talk to my sister or you want to talk to my friend. Like, no, he wants to talk to me. So let me smile and be more open
Yeah.
and have these types of conversations where I can actually, okay, well, maybe you're not my type, but it was nice that you came and talked to me, and it was I can have a conversation with you and know I don't have to deal with you, but it's okay for me to have a conversation
Hmm.
or open to people. And I just feel like now people are coming to talk to me more, where maybe they might look at me or my face because of my face will be in this resting
Hmm.
phase, and they're more willing now to come and talk to me. And the fact that he said it was my energy that attracted him to me, not, oh well, you was over there, you didn't have any clothes on, or no, you was doing this, or no, he said I was just standing there laughing and smiling. And even when I get on the phone with him, if I have my hair up like and put away, he'd just be talking or whatever, but then I'll pull my hair down and it's like he changes and he just starts staring at me more, and I'm like, hello, like, all
Yeah.
right, what's
You're
going
bringing them present. Like you when you do that, you bring him in more. You're out of their head into their body. You're bringing him present. You're making him present. That's what happens. It sounds like he's admiring your beauty, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Like you're creating more presence within him to pay attention. That's what it's like. Let me get alert. So what was coming up for you? So what aspects of the program do you feel has helped you to shift, like bring about those kind of results?
on? I felt like just the honesty, like you could actually feel it with everybody's story, like the things that they went through, their own little stepstones and steps that they took that gave these beautiful results, and the things that weren't so nice, but the way they handled it, just literally listening to that sometimes, it made me like look at things in a different perspective.
Hmm.
Whereas before I might take stuff personally and just like really take things in that had nothing to do with me. All of a sudden I would see these flaws in myself, where now it's like I don't have to do that. Like, she really went through that, and that was just like a lesson learned. That's something else to just open your eyes to, but at the same time, that's not necessarily something that's going to happen to you. That's just something to be aware about. It's like I honestly can see how other people's energy affects me in a positive and negative way. Like, I really take on other people's energy a lot. And so now I've been creating boundaries with myself and not feeling bad about it.
And you know God's love, right? God's love is doing its perfect work in you and through you now. So kudos to you. As you already know, big hugs, kudos. And I'm curious about something too. Like, if you had a girlfriend who wanted to, make the shifts that you have, like just wanted to make some changes in her love life, her self-worth, would you recommend this? Like, what would you say to her?
I would. If I actually felt that she would be able to receive it at that time.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times I felt like I just wasn't in the space to receive what was being said.
Yeah.
And that made it more difficult for me to get on the calls. Whereas if she's actually ready to make that type of change, I would definitely do that because I know that she'll be open to what's being said and actually be able to truly participate and hear it and see it within everybody else, because that was amazing. Literally, to hear some of the things they were saying and the way they said it, I was like, oh man, this is great. Like, this is great. Like, she's so strong. And like, she said the perfect way. Like, who thinks like that? Who
Yeah.
thinks like, yes.
That's real. That's real. As long as your friend, like any woman who is ready to do this kind of work, right? She has to be open to it and ready to receive. That's what the allure is all about, receptivity. So, totally real. That's real. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing.
Really.
I really appreciate how you. I mean, I just appreciate your openness anyway. And
Appreciate the fact that you've been here and been so understanding of everything. Like, you didn't have to do half of the things that you did or even try to stay as connected. But the fact that you were there, it made me feel like regardless, I can always come back. Like, I can always come in and have that safe space. Whereas before I would feel like, okay, I pulled away, now I can't go back because you feel some type of way, or now I feel judged because I left. And I never felt that way.
thank you.
Like, I
Yeah.
always felt the love, period. So I'm very grateful for you. I feel like the way that you built it up, it honestly gave people a chance to really look at themselves and then evaluate and then open up
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
move forward to the next thing. Where I could actually, okay, I'm really not comfortable because if you said for us to do certain stuff at the beginning, I probably was like, you know what, I don't think this is for me. I don't think I could do this. Like, this is too much. Like, I feel myself, I'm going back to introvert mode. I can't do this. But the way that you had it set up, I was able to like really attack certain things,
Hmm.
point of views, and it helped me grow.
Gotcha. Thank you. What would you say if you had to identify just maybe three results that you got from the program? What would you say that they are? If you can come up with three that's good, if you just come up with one that's good, what would you say has been the top result for you?
I see my self worth
Hmm.
and I see where I was and where I was beginning to head. And because of this program, I feel like now I can catch myself and be able to really like see things for what it really is and move forward. Where before I would shut down like big time
Yeah.
and just go into robot mode where I have to do this. So I'm going to do this. And then afterwards, what am I going to do? Like, if I didn't learn how to really and truly water my own garden, I feel like I would be lost. Like, okay, I'm lost in this relationship, then I'm lost without this relationship. So now I'm going to get lost in my kids. Like, that's my thing to get lost in now. Let me just focus on my kids and continue to lose myself. Where now I understand, like, I have to be whole in order to take care of them. Like, I have to be able to be present within myself in order to truly take care of them, because they need their mom to be happy. They need their mom to be healthy. They need their mom to be there in ways that it's not necessarily just my presence,
Mm-hmm.
but actually just in every aspect. If I can do that, they understand. They can understand, oh, mommy has to work. That's why she can't come here. But when I get home, I know my mommy's excited to hear what happened. And if something bad happened, I know I can talk to my mama because she can understand it from this perspective and this perspective. And it's not just one thing. Oh, I'm busy. I'm doing this. I have to do this. Okay. It's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay.
Cool.
I really had to recognize that it's okay to do for me. Like, it's okay to take care of myself. It's okay that I demand this type of energy from myself so that I'm truly open to receive from someone else. Whereas before, I might feel like I have to overgive. I have to like do all this stuff just so I can get that energy back. No, I don't. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. Because if I walk down the street and I'm feeling good about myself, I don't have to pay attention to this. But what will bring my attention, something will grab my attention, and hey, it's okay. I can do that. And I don't have to put myself in positions that's going to compromise how I will feel about myself later. I can be myself and people appreciate me for being me,
Mm-hmm.
not for the mask that I show to you. Like, I can take the mask off and just be happy and just smile and just be myself, and you'll appreciate me for that.
Wow. Yeah, just feeling safe to be yourself. That's great.